Marketing Brooke here. Hi, I realized that I deleted the intro to the video that you're about to see because I actually filmed it in like the last week of December, but it just got a bit hectic with work and I wasn't able to upload it. But I hope you enjoyed the video. I read Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. I gave it 4 stars. It was a really good book and you'll see what my thoughts were on it as you continue watching the video. I'm going to start off with the non-spoiler stuff, which is mostly just about general things. I want to start off by saying that Leigh Bardugo has very beautiful writing. Every single thing that she wrote about was extremely interesting and had my full attention, which is very difficult for me because I struggle with paying attention, and it was just very interesting. I read it in 2 sittings. Her writing was flowy and beautiful, and I am still reading the series at the moment. I've nearly finished the 2nd book and it's just, oh my god, once I've finished all of the books that she has written, I'm going to be so sad because I won't get to read her writing for a very long time. But there is a downside to her writing. I feel like there was kind of just a lack of world building, and I've noticed that other people felt that way too when I looked at other reviews and such. I love world building. I think it is very important in a fantasy book or sci-fi book. It's just that it really helps you understand the characters' motives as well as the characters' world. It helps you understand why the characters are that way because they went through these things and the world is this way for them. So when it comes to things of like just assuming we'll know something or just assuming we'll be like, oh yeah, that's a regular occurrence in this world that I do not live in because this is fiction, was a little bit frustrating and kind of confused me in many occasions. And it was also the type of thing of I didn't really understand what was going on with the characters, and I didn't really understand what a lot of the places were. So in the first part of the book, they keep referring to the fold. The fold is this section right before one area and the next area in the map. It's just a black smudge because it is terrifying, it is darkness, and there are creatures there that will want to kill you. It is a terrifying and dangerous place that most people don't come out of alive. And we constantly hear about the fold, but that's all it is referred to as the fold. We don't know anything about the fold. We don't know what it's going to happen. And the thing is, I understand trying to keep you on your toes, but you have to give us a little bit of information. Otherwise it just gets annoying when you're just milking the fold. Another positive about the writing was the fact that these characters were very, very interesting. They were tropey, they were extremely tropey characters, but they did stand out from the tropes, which I really appreciated. They had a lot of funniness and a lot of humor, and there was quite a lot of chemistry between the 2 leads, which I really appreciated. Mal and also Alina. I forgot the main character's name for a second. You can tell she really stuck with me. And although I do struggle with remembering characters' names, I did really actually like them. So you know how like I don't remember characters' names if they don't really stick with me? These characters actually stuck with me. I'm just running blanks today. I enjoyed the fact that it kind of felt like I was reading a Sarah J Maas novel, but it wasn't a Sarah J Maas novel. It had a lot of similarities in the characters. However, with the writing, it's a bit more fleshed out. So there is less info dumps, less repetitiveness in the writing. However, there did need to be more world building, which is something I really love about Sarah J Maas books, is that there's so much world building and it's just all given to you and you're like, yes. Whereas in this case, that's what it needed. However, the writing was a lot less repetitive and perfect for if you like a Sarah J Maas book, but you don't want to read Sarah J Maas because you don't want to deal with those little annoyances. Try a Leigh Bardugo book. They're actually really good for that. And also because it was a very easy read. I got through it in just 2 sittings. I got through it like it was nothing. I've been in a reading slump all year. So as you can imagine, this book was just very easy to read. It's not hard to read if you're really, really tired or if you're going through a lot and you just need some escape. This book is perfect for it because it's not too hard to understand. Yes, you do have to do a little bit of thinking because it is like a royal court basically, but it's still that quick and easiness that you can get from this book. It's also the type of book that if you go away from for a really long time, you'll understand it perfectly fine. You don't have to keep footnotes or anything like that. You don't have to use sticky notes. I can remember pretty much everything that happened in this book, even though I read it in 2 sittings. Both times I was sleep deprived. My last non-spoiler point is going to be that yes, this book was extremely tropey and cliche. You could tell what was going to happen. You could tell which character was going to be bad. You could tell who to trust and to trust. which is unfortunate, but also again, it was still enjoyable. The characters are still very funny. The characters still had a lot of their own chemistry and they still stood out on their own, which was really, really good. So yes, they were tropey, but they also were their own character, which is hard to explain, but you get it if you read it, because you could just go like, yes, I know what's gonna happen, but I'm down for it. I'm gonna go along for the ride and it's gonna be fun, it's gonna be groovy. So that was kind of just how I felt about that, and I thought it was really awesome. that is the last of the non-spoiler type of section in this video. So unless you want to be spoiled, or if you've read this book, feel free to continue. But just so you know, not all of this is going to be positive, and if you don't like me saying mean stuff about your Darkling and Alina ship, don't continue. Okay, characters. Alina. Alina was a very interesting character to be in the mind of, but she was so dull at first. I thought she was really annoying. I thought, my god, did this girl whinge so much, and I just can't stand whinging. I'm from Perth. I have the mentality of just suck it up. So it was just so frustrating, and it was like, oh my goodness, sweetie, how about rather than complaining about your problems, do you fix it? She does end up doing that, as you know, and that's actually really good. There is quite a lot of character development. It's just more that we weren't really there for the character development in the such of, you were just told it happened rather than seeing it happen, which was quite frustrating, I'll be honest with you. But it was the fact of, that's what happened in the first section of this book, and I mean as in like the first quarter to almost third of the book. It's just the fact that she was so pessimistic, she was so mean, about literally any girl that made a move on Mal, and I don't like that. I really don't like that, because the thing is, Mal is not your boyfriend, and also Mal is allowed to find other girls attractive, okay? And she knew that, and she acknowledged it, and she even said to herself, I am being a bitch. But it's also the thing of just the fact that she still continued with it. At least she was self-aware and she did get a handle on it, but at first it was just very frustrating, because she kept acknowledging it but not doing anything about it, or even saying like, wow, I should really stop thinking this way. She just kind of went with a, yes, this isn't right, and then go straight back to doing it. And it's like, oh, that's a pet peeve in real people and in characters that I have. Like, I don't like it when people do that. Don't do that, please. My next point was the fact that, my god, she is naive. I love Alina. I love her so much, and I don't mind a naive character, but she is so cynical and so naive, and I thought it was quite funny. It was something that we don't really see all that often, and I kind of thought that was an interesting twist to take on a character, because quite often it will either be, yes, I'm naive, and I think everything is totally fine and dandy and whoop. But this character is, everything is gloomy and dark and awful, but also I have no idea what's going on, and I'm going to be totally okay with that, because I will live in happy ignorance. That is that type of character, and I actually thought it was quite interesting, because usually it's one or the other, and it's even the fact of, she's like a mixture between a Katniss Everdeen but also Ariel. Love them both, by the way. I love Ariel, I love Katniss Everdeen, but she was like a combination, and I thought that was really interesting. And by that I mean, she full-blown gave up her freedom and was like, yeah, this is okay. I'm a Grecian now, I'm gonna hang out with Jenya, I'm gonna gossip about all the people at the little palace, and I'm going to be in a somewhat romantic and also violating relationship with the Darkling. So next subject, the Darkling. The Darkling was actually quite interesting, but I'll be super honest with you, we saw barely any of him, and it was quite frustrating because I wanted to see so much more. He was barely in it. We would hear about him all the time and hear about his history and what he has done, or hear about people go, oh yes, I feel a pull towards the Darkling. But could we please see more of the Darkling? Because I'm supposed to believe that Alina is attracted towards the Darkling, and I'm also supposed to believe that the Darkling is attracted to Alina, but they have no chemistry. And the reason why they have no chemistry is because they have next to no time together. We never see them together. They have little parts. First off, he's being really harsh and rude to her and doing like this thing where he amplifies her abilities. The next, he's saving her where he splits a guy in half and then manipulates her emotions. In that kind of situation, yeah, I can understand why he did that, but also that is still really yuck. And then all of a sudden he disappears for ages, and then they're together again, and then they disappears again, and then suddenly he kisses her, and then he disappears again, and then suddenly he comes back, and they're making out in a wardrobe and just about ready to, you know, get it on. And I'm supposed to believe this is normal? I'm supposed to believe that this is expected and that Alina is totally into the Darkling. I don't know why Alina is into the Darkling. He sounds attractive, but the thing is, his personality is annoying. Like, I find people like that super annoying. Like, if you're gonna be here, be consistent. It was like, this constant thing of like, yes, they have chemistry. Leigh Bardugo wrote their chemistry perfectly in the scenes that they were together, but they had no time together. And it wasn't like their time together was mentioned and we just didn't see it, which would be an entirely different annoyance of mine. It was more the fact that it just didn't happen. They had next to no time together, and I'm supposed to believe that he has no control over himself when he's around her, and that he might be in love with her, and that he wants to have a future with her, and etc, etc, etc. And I'm supposed to believe that Alina believes this. So it's like this thing of, I don't believe that. That didn't seem realistic to me, and I thought it was quite frustrating because it's like I wanted more scenes of them together. I knew that the Darkling was going to be evil because, like I said, this book was a massive cliche, and it's hard to escape spoilers of this book, to be honest with you. But it just was super frustrating because I'm supposed to believe that he is going to like want to be with her, and it's even hinted towards in like the second book that he still wants to be with her and that he still likes her. But the thing is, there is no time with them together, and it's like, I'm supposed to believe this? Why? It also comes into the fact that the Darkling is super creepy, and I don't understand why anyone likes him. Like, he just invades Alina's privacy over and over and over and over again. And he rarely ever takes her thoughts and her opinions into account. She just lets him take control until finally she finds out his actual intentions of taking control over her, and she's like, whoa, no, I'm out. But she didn't see that coming with his controlling and obsessive tendencies to begin with. The fact that he will put anyone down and actually push them under the bus in order for him to have control and power. He is like, he basically works in the government. He works in that kind of government. He wants full-blown power. He basically created the Fold. So, sweetie, maybe cross-reference. I don't know. It was just very odd because I don't understand why anyone liked him. I don't understand why Alina was interested in him. I don't understand why anyone who reads the book likes him. In my thought process was, this guy sounds interesting, how about we learn more about him? And we didn't learn anything about him. It's also the fact that he full-blown wanted to put a collar on Alina, like an actual collar, a collar that can never be removed. Ew. Yuck. Nah. Red flag. Red flag. And there was a red flag after red flag after red flag, and yet no one picked it up. No, Alina didn't pick it up. The girls at the court didn't pick it up. The only person, like, she kept being warned and warned and warned and warned by everybody. Jenya was warning her. Alina was still like, yeah, no, I'm fine with it. Her concern was, he does this with every other Grisha girl, not he could be using me as a pawn. I don't really have much to say on the Darkling himself because I don't actually think much of him. I kind of forget that he's in the book, to be honest, and he's the main villain. The main villain, and he sinks into the background out of most of the characters. Like, Jenya is more interesting than the Darkling. I don't understand the Darkling's motives other than the fact that he just wants power. I don't understand why the Darkling used this method to get Alina to be on his side. I don't understand why the Darkling ever bothered with Alina to begin with. He could have literally just put her in a cage, grabbed an amplifier and slapped that around her neck. Like, he could have done literally any of that. That's what I mean, as in, I don't understand his motives. I don't understand his character because he doesn't feel like a real character. He just felt like words on a page, to be honest with you. So he was like the biggest letdown of this book. And which is odd because I've noticed that most people like the Darkling and most people ship Alina and the Darkling. So maybe you find out more about him in the other books, but I'm nearly finished the second book and he is a lot more threatening and a lot more scary. But the thing is, again, I don't understand his character. He just feels like a villain for the sake of being a villain, for the sake of wanting power. He's like basically just a cliche Slytherin character. Like, where is his actual personality? I want to know, because they didn't actually capture real personality from this character. The last character I'm going to be talking about is Mal. I really liked Mal. I think he is so much better than Darkling because he actually has a personality. He is likable, he's funny, he's witty, he has a relationship with Mal. There is so much chemistry, and even though he disappears for most of this book, he has so many scenes with her. He's with her until here, and then he's back with her at like here. So he spends so much more time with Mal, and he doesn't like change Mal at all. Mal actually changes on her own. She develops as a character on her own. She doesn't rely on the men to develop her as a character, which I really appreciate. Her relationships don't actually affect the development of her character. Yes, Mal did act like a bit of a rude person for a little bit right before their reunion. Well, actually it was their reunion, and he acted so rude towards her. But it was also the thing of like absolute shock of like, why are you suddenly okay with being this way? Why are you suddenly okay with being in this world? Like, can you just come with me? Are you pretending? And I think he wants to believe she's pretending, but she's basically said, no, I'm not pretending. I enjoy it here. I fit in here. I have a place. I have a purpose, which is another, probably a main reason why she believes it. Same reason as like in The Maze Runner, why they believe Wicked in the second book, because she wants to feel like she fits in. But the thing is also, he sees her for who she truly is. He does see her for who she truly is, and he's seen her for who she truly was this entire book. And he has this constant guilt of going, I let them just take you. I let them just take you away from me. I let them take you to God knows where. You could have been locked up for all I knew. I did not hear from you. I tried to write to you and I stared at blank pages for days on end, everyone giving me so much crap for it, but I did it anyway because I was so guilty and I missed you and I loved you. And it was that type of thing. He does admit that he is in love with her, and he's very funny and he's very light and very breezy, and I do like him. That's the other thing of, I've noticed that not many people like him as much as they like the Darkling, even though he has a personality, might I quickly add again. It's more the thing of, I'm so sick of it always being the cool, dark, bad boy. This guy is like the OG Archie, like an Archie before Riverdale. Why did I say Riverdale? Riverdale. He is Archie before Riverdale. He is funny and sweet and kind. He's also he's an extremely talented tracker. He's passionate about what he does, and he's passionate about the people he cares about. So he would do literally anything for them. He doesn't regret going and being a deserter. He doesn't regret going to help Alina. He doesn't regret any of it because he's trying to help the person he loves. He's been like making jokes about how like, I had to go find the stag and yada yada yada, but then he finds out how serious it is, and then he finds out what the situation is actually about, and he's like, oh yeah, nah. And he is the one that keeps telling Alina, no, you're not being melodramatic, no, this is not okay. And it's kind of like that type of thing. But not only that, but they have chemistry. They have that perfect kind of chemistry where they're like that type of friendship where they were basically in a relationship before they were in a relationship, if that makes sense. You get that. It's kind of like you've had those type of friendships where you ended up dating that friend. You're in a relationship with that person before you're in a relationship with that person, if you get what I mean. So they have the history, they know things about each other, and it's not like I expect you to be with me because I've known you for this long. It's I love you. You don't have to love me in that way, but I love you in this way type of thing. And not just that, but he has his own motives. He's not just some character that doesn't have a personality. He is passionate and brave, and he does what he wants. And I'm repeating myself because I can't focus on this anymore. I liked him more. Okay? I liked him more. And I'm sorry about that, but the Darkling sucks. That's kind of all I wanted to really talk about. This video has reached 22 minutes long, and I was actually aiming for 15 minutes, so maybe I can fix it up in the editing. I'm very sorry about this very messy video. I had to pants it because I couldn't concentrate enough to actually write out my notes because I kept getting distracted by literally everybody and everything. And I also noticed that this video is extremely loud. There's work going on where trees are being removed because we're coming into the hotter months. There was clothes in the wash, and the washing machine just finished and was beeping, and my mum went into the kitchen, but I'm not going to stop her from going into the kitchen because that's mean, and sound just travels in this house. So I'm very sorry about probably the worst video I've ever uploaded, except the two that I uploaded right at the beginning of my videos. Please don't ever watch those, but you'll probably watch those. But I want to leave those up because, oh well. I also want to say it has officially been a year that I have started this YouTube channel. I can't remember when my anniversary was, and I was thinking of doing a video for it, but it was just more the fact that it fell right when I was just working a few days in a row, and by the end of it I was like, I don't really feel up to it. And it's kind of just this thing of I'm trying to stay motivated to read and just keep going and just trying to take care of myself. But I've been watching a lot of YouTubers, and it's like booktubers that have been motivating me to get back into filming videos. So I've got quite a lot of videos planned. I also want to do a bookshelf tour. I might even do a tour of my TBR shelf, but I'm not going to show you that right now because it is messy and I don't want to do that. That's pretty much it for this video. I don't know when my next upload is going to be, but it's most likely going to be, well, if I do upload, next week on Saturday. I might even just start uploading my videos a day or two late if I have to, because I just want to get videos out there. I have the time now. I can do it. Even though it is the silly season for not just my family, my boyfriend's family, and for work, I'm just gonna see if I can fit it in and get it done. I'm working out a way for me to be able to film videos at nighttime without being too noisy and without the lighting being that type of weird, you can tell they filmed at night type of lighting. But that's about it. I have some videos planned that I'm thinking of actually making a video where I talk about videos I have planned and seeing if people will be interested in it. I don't know. It's just what I'm down for. If you're down for it, that's awesome. Anywho, have a beautiful day. Take care of yourself. And I don't know how to do outros. Bye!